I'll smile. Fool, talk, do it till the sun goes down. And all through the night.
I had been on my journey since I was 20 to be a career in the health business and run my own as an entrepreneur. So congratulations.
I'm a with no breaks. I'm invincible. In every single game, I'm so powerful.
Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Nikki C. Super excited to have you guys here on another episode. We have an amazing calling all the way from Argentina, I believe. I hope I got that as well as the BALM Global LLC network. So I'm super excited again to have you all here. So give me 1 second while I pull up his bio. So we have François de Neuville, and I hope I did not badger that because it's such a beautiful name. He is a former commando-paratrooper, a husband, an adventurer, and an entrepreneur, and a tsunami survivor. As a high-performance coach, speaker, and author, he helps entrepreneurs, CEOs, and executives to master themselves, master their time, and create an epic life with their urge to bring on.
Hey, Nikki.
Friends, how are
Hi,
you?
everyone. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. And yes, you got my name right. And indeed, I'm in Argentina today. I'm in very close to Brazil in the north of the country, in an amazing place.
Wow, how is the weather there right now?
Well, it's very gray and very rainy, but it's nice. It's a lot of nature. It's very green around. And I'm just next to the Iguazu Falls, which is a very, very special place, wonder of nature.
Oh, wow. Well, I am literally sitting here freezing. Like my hands are icicles. We're having every season here in Philadelphia. Throughout the week, we've had a little bit, I wouldn't say summer, but kind of summer, spring, rain, and stuff like that. We haven't had a true winter yet. So I'm okay. So so much for agreeing to come on. We had our virtual coffee, and I was just intrigued with your story when I first heard it on a mastermind that we were on. And tell us a little, are you originally from Argentina? If not, where are you from? What have you done? And then we'll go into what action that changed your mindset.
Yeah, so I am originally from Belgium. I served in the military in Belgium for about 9 years. And then after I decided to quit everything based on this child dream that I had to go and explore and travel the world. So it's about a bit more than almost 8 years ago now. I quit everything and I started traveling around the world. I've been living a nomadic lifestyle since then, so about 7 years. And so it's very an amazing experience. And I'm feeling very fortunate and grateful to be able to discover the world, meeting new people, discovering new culture, and keep growing myself in the meantime.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what is a nomad lifestyle?
Yeah, so I started more as a traveler. So I was just going from one place to the other, traveling, exploring, and I was not really working. I was really 100% of the time traveling, which was very fascinating. And then after my wife got a job, she was working in different international schools as a director and teacher. And so we lived for 6 months in Costa Rica. We lived for almost 3 years in Indonesia. And so that phase of life, we were more like expats because we were staying a long time in the same place, and she had a job in the country. And then after that, we decided to mix both. And so we became digital nomad. We put our businesses online. We both have our business and we also work together in business. And so we can work location independent, which is completely amazing because we can go wherever we want in the world and keep doing the work that we do. So this is how it looks like. Like we go for a country, in a
I,
country for like 2 3 months, and then we go to another one and another one. We follow the sun.
I love it. I love it. And I always say every time I get on a plane, when I'm going to an event or when I'm going to another location, we say that the world is, no matter where I'm at, I can be on a beach and I can connect with those that need me at the moment, servicing anywhere. Well, obviously, when we go on vacation, we don't want to think about work or business or anything like that. But the fact that you can, and it can only take just a little bit of your time, it's just a beautiful thing to know. It's really, so thank you so much for sharing that. So there was in your bio, you said that you had experienced a tsunami, and I mean, I heard your story, but it was so touching to hear and really see. Just tell us a little bit how that experience was. What did it start? Did you go into how that changed your mind? Was there a delay? Were you able to?
Yeah, okay, I hear you now. Yeah, so this experience completely transformed my life. And I want to give you a little background of how it was before that and how it was after that, because definitely it was not the same. So just before that, I was traveling a lot. I was following all my dreams and I was taking a lot of scary steps. But although I was living a great life, I was always living in the future. I was always living in, what am I going to do next? What's going to be the next destination? What's going to be the next extraordinary adventure? And I was really constantly in the future. And I realized, well, I'm missing out a little bit on the present, but I didn't really know how to refocus myself in the here and now. And then one day I found myself in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was in Indonesia. It was in September 2018 in the island of Sulawesi, in the small city of Palu. I was there for a paragliding competition, had a lot of friends when suddenly paradise turned into hell. An earthquake of 7.5 hit the city of Palu and destroyed the whole city. I was very, very fortunate to be, I was just leaving my hotel, which was on the coast when the earthquake hit. So I was like 25 meters in front of the lobby when the ground started shaking like something I've never seen before. It was completely surreal. And the hotel behind me completely collapsed. I was terrified. I'm not going to lie to you. I just did not know what was happening. And when I realized, like, whoa, there is an earthquake, buildings are collapsing, people are trapped inside, I have to do something. I need to help people. And that was a very scary moment because I didn't want to die neither underneath the rubble and the debris falling from the hotel, but I wanted to help people because I feel like, well, we need to do something. I was so lucky to not be hurt by the earthquake at the moment. So we run back to the hotel. I was with a friend at the time and trying to help people. And I spotted a little girl there in the debris of the hotel. And we climbed under the debris trying to get her, to save her. And when we finally could take her in my arm and leave that place, I wanted to put her safe somewhere and come back to help the mother that I saw that she was trapped underneath big blocks of concrete. And so I ran away and I was thinking, I'm going to put her somewhere safe when nothing can collapse. Well, the beach seems the best way. And when I was running towards the beach, I saw this black line in the horizon. It was like, holy, there is a tsunami coming. It's funny because I've never seen that before, but I immediately know what it was. And actually things started to make sense in my mind. Well, there is an earthquake. We're on the coast. Big chance that tsunami is going to come. So the tsunami came so fast, like 700 kilometers an hour. It was insane. I tried to look for shelter, but I was trapped between the tsunami coming and the collapsing building. I found a tree and I was like, I'm going to try my luck there. And so I threw the little girl up in the tree. I climbed myself in the tree and we waited for impact there. And those few seconds in the tree were very life-changing for me because I remember this little girl looking at me in the eyes and I smiled back and said, like, it's all right. It's going to be fine. But I'm not going to lie to you. I really thought I'm going to die. This is my last moment. I quickly take my phone And I wanted to call my wife and say, hey, I love you and I'm sorry, I'm not coming home. I tried to call, but the call never went through because all the antennas were destroyed. There were no network, nothing. And I'm glad it never went through, because who would like to receive such a phone call, right? The tsunami came, it hit us like a truck. I was holding the little girl in one side, the trunk on the other side, holding as strong as I could. And we survived the impact. We were very lucky that we were in the front line, so there were not so many debris in the water, but the wave destroyed everything. It was so impressive and so scary, but we were still alive. And the following weeks, I mean, the story goes a bit longer. Just to say, 4,000 people died that day. And I lost a lot of friends. And I went in through this very dark phase of my life thinking, what's that all about? What's life all about? It felt so unfair. I felt so much anger, so much. I was so mad at life for whatever happened there. And I was trying to deal with this suffering and these dark thoughts. And days after days, I could just hear news of another friend of mine who was found dead underneath the rubble of a building. And it just kept going. Until one day I really started asking myself, well, wait a second. Because I'm still alive. I am still here. I got a second chance. And just for the people who didn't have a second chance, the people who lost their life there, I have the duty to make the most out of it. And that was the biggest mindset shift that I ever had, because from being a victim of this situation, suddenly I became a survivor. And this is a very powerful distinction, because the pain does not go away, right? But suddenly the meaning, the perspective I had on this event completely changed, right? Instead of saying, why me? That's not fair. Why them? Etc. Like, well, I'm alive. Let me make the most of that second chance. And so that's the day I really promised myself to live every single day of my life to the fullest and to inspire others to do the same, because I got very lucky. It was a miracle that we survived that. But I know not everybody will receive a second chance. And we sometimes think that we are immune to bad stuff in life. You know, like a car accident never happened to me. A cancer, never to me. A tsunami, I was the first one to think, never going to happen to me, right? We always think that we're going to live forever. And humans have this difficulty to accept their own mortality. Death is still a bit taboo. When we talk about death, people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Let me live. Yeah, all right. But death is one of the most important teacher in life, because it reminds us on the shortness of life. And it's also really shaking us to think like, hey, you don't have all the time that you want. You don't have all the time that you think you will have. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow is the last day. Maybe it's next month. Maybe it's in 50 years. I don't know. But what are you going to do about it? We cannot control time, but we can control what we do during the time that we have. And so if we remember that we don't have forever, we can decide to stop living with the illusion of infinite time and to stop postponing our best life for later. And to me, it was such an insight. And although I thought I was living a best life ever before, I realized, whoa, wait, I'm still living in the future. No, I realized the only thing that I really have is the present. You know, when I was in that tree, I was not thinking about my bank account, my new businesses, etc. No. I was just thinking about the people in my life. I was thinking about the smiles. I was thinking about the emotions and the feelings and those experiences that I share with others. And I said, like, you know what? I'm going to live so that I never have to make this last phone call. Because the last phone call that I wanted to make to my wife, I should not have done that. She should have known. If I die tomorrow, I want my brothers, my parents, my grandparents, my friends, my colleagues, whatever. I want them to know that the people in my life, I appreciate them. I'm grateful for having them there. I want people to know that. I don't want to live ever again to have to make this last phone call. And this is something I just want to share with everyone as well. I usually like to tell people, just by the way, take your phone, send a text to someone. Just say, hey, I appreciate you are in my life. We don't share those things enough. Why? Because we think we are forever. And then suddenly we have regrets, you know? So it really changed my whole mindset. This event actually changed my life for the better, although it came with a lot of suffering. And I'm not going to lie, I still have nightmares about it, right? It's something that was profoundly traumatic. Right. Now, I don't really suffer from it, but the pain is still there. The pain is still there.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and going with this, I was, you know what? I'm going to make the best of my life. How do you do that? Like, how do you make the most out of
Yes.
it? That's such a
Oh my goodness.
question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I know when I felt it, I got chills. I even got chills this time around because it was actually in a little bit more detail because we didn't hear about the debris, about the
Yeah.
impact, about you looking at this little girl's eyes, about you trying to make that last call, which, when you said, thank God it didn't go through, I was thinking the same thing. Like someone doesn't want to hear it, especially if you don't know or you don't have a decision on if you survive or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, we never want to not let them know, but because, I mean, you're away, they're expecting you, and, a phone call would have been nice, just saying, hey, this is what I'm going through. But then it's like a catch 22. Like it's good in a way because they know what to expect, and in a way because maybe nothing's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. It's so powerful. It's so powerful how I understand that it takes you through a dark place, and that's something that you'll never forget. It's your life story, and I'm sure you're repeating it over and over as you coach people, as you talk to people, because they know where this mindset comes from. Sometimes
Mhm.
the story behind it, there's some type of story that got you to come, is going to overcome any obstacle if you're
Yeah.
especially if you're in that coaching space, in that motivation, uh doing that. We have to go through some stuff to even understand what our purpose is, what our life is, and how we want to live and how we want to be known when our time comes. And I love when that um you you want everyone to know how much you're loved and to make that text. And I've been out of corporate America for quite some time. It's actually going to be 3 years this year. And those people have, they've came to my wedding. They have shared just monumental moments in my life. And I always make time, no matter how busy I am, to tell them how much I appreciate. I'll tell them that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about them, family, friends. It's just a part of life. And it's definitely something that doesn't take a lot of effort away from your time.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't even know if they need that. There's plenty of times where I said, hey, hope your day's going great. Send them a nice quote, a photo, just I'm thinking about you. And they'll respond like, Nikki, this came at the right time. Like I was just feeling down. I was just not feeling myself. And you don't
Yes.
know the impact that you have. So thank you for like shedding a light on all of that. I'm so intrigued with, your speaking and everything that you do and what you are motivated to do. And unfortunately, it took this experience, but you've embraced it. You made it your story, and you're coming, staying in the
Power.
present at all. Yeah. You're staying in the
Yeah.
present, and that's what we need to do. We need to stop moving so fast. So we're gonna take a we're gonna from, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna touch base. What you have going for sharing. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are here with François, and we are going through his life story through a tsunami that actually changed his worldview on how he moves in his life today. And again, joining the BALM family and bringing your story here, and what you're about. Your programs, your coaching programs, what after this transition and you moving to Argentina, and what is your work now? What's going on? Let us know.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And I want to link that first with the mindset that really changed for me, and how this can apply for everyone in a leadership position, is that when we tend to live with this illusion of time, right? But the thing is that success doesn't just happen. And it's valid for everything. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, success doesn't just happen. I like to say that your business is the reflection of who you are. So if you want to become a better leader, you have to become a better person. Brendon Burchard said, if you want to have more, you have to be more. And to me, this is one of the biggest leadership mindset and leadership principle. Like, to be a great leader, you first have to become a great person. You have to become a role model and helping others to become the best version of themselves by you becoming the best version of yourself. And this is the work that I do with people. I really help people to elevate the business through self-mastery. And it just means that to being committed by improving yourself, being committed to go to excellence. Now, the funny thing is that most people in a leadership position or higher position, they're like, well, they're trying to fix the team, they're trying to fix the system, they're trying to fix the software, but really, they take the time to actually look at themselves, because it's not comfortable. It's always more comfortable to change what's around you than to look yourself in the mirror. But the thing is, you cannot just avoid it. You're going to have to become a better person, a better role model, if you want to increase your influence, your professionalism, your productivity, your performance, right? And so my work is around personal mastery. I support people to step into their greatness, to show up in a way they've never done before. And yes, it's uncomfortable. And yes, this is not really what I want to hear. And yes, sometimes they sweat, sometimes they hate me. But that's the work that is required if you want to be a leader. Because when you're a leader, it's the ultimate selfless position, right? When you're a leader, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm on the spotlight. No. When you're a leader, it's not about you anymore. When you're a leader, it's about the people you serve. And so if you think about it that way, how can you be there for others if you don't have your shit together yourself, right? In that sense, personal mastery and excellence is the way to effective leadership and just becoming a better person. And so that's what I offer one-on-one. I also wrote a book called The Illusion of Time, 11 Lessons on How Not to Suck at Life. And I really wrote this book to help people understand that we don't have all the time we think we do. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And so it's about the core message is stop postponing your best life for later and do it just right now.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I love your perspective when it comes to fixing yourself first or working on yourself. That self-development is so powerful. And sometimes we tend to forget that when we get that title, when we get that role, it's truly, truly never about us. It's always about people we serve. And very quickly when you get into the space of entrepreneurship as a coach, because you want them to succeed. You want them to be the best versions of themselves. You want them to believe that whatever gifts and talent that they were given, that they use it as they're supposed to. So it definitely, and how can you teach someone, or how can you or motivate someone if you're not motivated yourself? If you don't have the proper tools to conduct yourself in a way or build yourself in a way that, it's just not a good match. And I'm all about that. You can't build other leaders without building a leader yourself. But I have to add that you are not a leader unless you build other great leaders. That's first and foremost. So thank you so much for shedding a light on that. That's my love language. I 100% am aligned with that mission. And the coaching, it's something that it's just within us. It's something that you possess. And when you see, and I love the way you said, just get your shit together. It's so true. That is true. So how do some of the challenges you have when to you and say, you know what, this is too hard. I don't think I can do it. You know, what am I doing wrong? Like, how do you help your clients get through that limiting belief that they can't do it?
First of all, by confronting them. And this is, we tend to be, our mind is wired to go away from pain and discomfort and toward pleasure. And that's why that we don't listen to the cues around us. I like to say, listen to the bank account, listen to the scale, listen to the pull-up bar, listen to the mirror. They don't lie. They tell you the hard truth. And it's probably not what you want to hear, but it's probably what you need to hear. And so I guide people through these 4 phases. The first one is awareness. Because if you don't know what you don't know, I mean, it doesn't work out. You need to take the time to have a reality check. And it's very hard to do it yourself, especially when you're a leader, because you don't really have an accountability structure around you. You're usually surrounded by your yes culture. And so it's very tough to have this reality check. So awareness is the most important. And after, when you are aware about where you're at, it's taking ownership of it. And this one is a difficult one as well, because maybe you're aware about something and saying like, hey, it's my fault, or I have some responsibility in there, because it's not always your fault. But you always have a responsibility in how you respond to the situation, or maybe you created the situation, right? I like to say with this one, nobody is coming to save you. You're going to have to empower yourself to create the change that are necessary, so you can show up in the way you want to show up, and then come action. So with the ownership, changing the identity, changing who you are, so your action are automatically aligned with who you want to be, taking action, but it doesn't happen in just one time. So you have to build self-discipline, which means to take consistent action over time. And there we go a lot in the excuses. There's one chapter in my book that says, you can be great or you can make excuses. But you cannot do both at the same time. You're going to have to choose. And so there is a lot of confrontation in that. But to me, this is how we grow. We grow through challenges. So I really combine what I learned in the military, in the commando-paratroopers. I was a platoon leader there. And the concept of high performance. I bring that together to deliver something that's not always comfortable, but transformational.
Give me 1 second. I was just going to ask you, military, how did that mold you to being the coach that you are today?
Could you say the question again? It cut for a second. Sorry.
I'm not sure what is the connection. I don't know on whose side it is, but it's okay. We're going to keep going because this is life. And sometimes the internet doesn't like us, and that's okay. We're going to keep going. I'm glad that you brought because that was actually my next question. The military experience mold and add on. One more time?
One more time, I think. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening.
It's okay. Did the military mold your coaching style?
Oh, yeah, totally. So what I learned in the military is to show up at your best no matter what, to show up with excellence, to strive to nothing but the best, to hold yourself to the higher standards. And when I was a platoon leader, I really realized it's not about me. It's about the people I lead. And so it's important. I give them the successes and I take ownership of the failures. This is what the leaders means. And it was difficult at first, when in front of the platoon, like you want to be, I'm leading all of them thanks to me. And I realized, no, I'm getting it wrong. Thanks to them, we can accomplish the mission, right? And so it shaped a lot of my mindset. It helped me to build discipline, to keep thinking straight, when there is a high stakes situation, to keep showing up as my best no matter what, as I just said, and to know that it's not about you, it's a collaboration with the people that you lead, and as a leader you are at service of others. That really changed completely my way of looking at leadership. And so that's what I use to empower people to become better leader, by just becoming a better role model. And I think my ultimate goal is like, when you just show up somewhere, not even by saying anything, but the way you're being, you inspire people, right? I like to say that it's not about what you do, but it's about how you become. And so that's why I love to work a lot on the being, because the moment you are a different person, the moment you are stepping into the being, your actions are really aligning with who you want to be, and your behavior as well. And so this is the most important, because we don't want to check boxes on a checklist. No, we want to change who we are at the core to become more aligned to the best person who we want to be.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. There's something about, and I have military in my family as well. And one of my uncles, he is straightforward, no nonsense. This is what needs to be done. This is how you should look at life. So I just love, and a lot of the people in our communities, which are where they're those skills that were taught in the marketplace to really help people really find one who they are, how to be able to take a chance on themselves and really work on themselves in the best ways possible, through structure, through strategy, through discipline. And I'm glad that that's just some amazing traits and characteristics that you have to become a leader. And I'm not saying everyone needs to be from the military, and those that are not can't do the same, but it's all about the ingredients that you possess within you. And, the more books you read, the more self-development you take on, the more events that you attend, that is your need to coach someone else. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, people can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is the best way to chat. And I would love just to have new connection. I'm always happy to meet new extraordinary people, share ideas, exchange ideas, and just be inspired by other high achievers who are out there and in the audience today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Leadership Mindset Podcast. You can connect with LinkedIn, or you can check out his website, which is and purchase his book, 11 Lessons to Not Suck at Life. I love that title, actually. That is genius, because none of us want a life, and I think that is a book that I'm actually gonna go and purchase like right after this, because I just love those unique ways of really, life does not have to be as hard as we make it out to be. Life is actually fairly simple, and it's just the choices that you make for yourself, and without playing that or walking life with that victim mentality, or why me. When you start to see what I can do better and change that language, and how can I fix myself, and how can I serve, it's a totally different ballgame. So, and I think that's exactly what you exude. I have this conversation. I hope that it's clear, because I have you back, and I hope that I can see you in May, and have some chat about that. Super excited, and thank you guys again. Connect with him at the website below, on LinkedIn, and we connected weeks ago, and I was just intrigued with his story, and I said, you know what, I need amazing leaders in my circle, and it's just been a great a great as well. And I can't wait to see what we can do together. So any words for our audience that you want to leave them with?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me today and helping me to share my message and support others. There are two things that I would like people to leave with. The first one is stop postponing your best life for later. And the second one is commit to excellence. It's a lifestyle. It's just a daily routine that's going to lead you to somewhere you cannot even imagine. So thank you again.
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that, because that's actually the mission of Empower to Inspire, which is May 20th. Here, connect with us on that level and, be part of the Empower to Inspire. You are going to confidently leave at the end of the day with the right tools and everything that you need to be successful, and stop taking that time. There's never going to be a perfect time. The time is now, and you just have to believe it. And we're going to get these speakers to make sure that you believe in yourself as well, just as I believe in all of you. So thank you so much for listening to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. I'm your host. Have a great day. And as I always say, make it count.